What's up, guys? We're back and I'm gonna be reacting and reviewing advice on music on Instagram Reels. We'll see if the advice they give is actually valid or completely false. Let's go. Okay, we got this first video, making musicians. All right, let's see what she has to say.
Lie number 2, we tell music students. Well, some kids are just naturally talented. I'm gonna make a really bold statement here. I have never had a kid come into my studios or my classrooms who wasn't musically talented.
This is a false point. She said everybody that came into her studio is musically talented, but the definition of talent means it's a natural ability to do something exceptionally well. So that doesn't make sense. That contradicts the entire definition of talent. So not everyone can be talented. All right, let's keep going.
Let's talk about it. We're dealing with something called talent blindness, because there are 3 types of musical talent, but we really only care about one, or really talk about one. There are 3 parts of the brain that really work when you are doing music. That's why it's a whole brain activity. There's this forebrain. It's kind of like the trunk of a car. It's where you pack information. If your students can take information about music and put it together really well and understand it, then they've got a forebrain talent. They've got a thinking talent about.
Is there any evidence, studies? But she probably, even if there is, doesn't prove that they've got a thinking talent. Alright, whatever. Let's just keep going.
Music. Then there's the midbrain. This is the driver in our analogy of a car, and it's where your deepest emotions live. Now, in order to make music feel, you have to have a lot of midbrain capability. Weirdly, even though this is something that is super valuable in music, we hardly ever talk about that piece of musical.
Yeah, it's important, even if there is such thing as a midbrain capability that controls your emotions. But if you're playing an instrument, especially, it's all technique is what really matters, that separates you from other musicians.
Talent. We usually talk about the last one. In the back of our brain, way back here, there is something called the cerebellum, and that's where muscle memory lives. And for some reason, we just love it when people can technically move around to do music. And that is what we...
Yeah, exactly, because that's what separates musicians, like good and great ones. It's technical ability. So that's what's valued.
We mean when we say some kids are talented, because not everybody has a hindbrain or moving talent for music. Here's the thing, people with forebrain talent for music, people with midbrain talent for music, they have amazing things to bring to music, but when they're told that person...
Like what? Not unless maybe you're a composer, I guess, but in terms of playing an instrument, what was there to bring?
Person has talent and you don't, they leave, and we've missed that gift. It is your job, music teacher. It is your job to know for every single one of your students where their talent lies, so that you can tell them, hey, this is where I really need you. This is where your gift comes into music. And you might need to tell that really hindbrain or that really muscle memory talented kid, hey.
I don't know why she keeps saying muscle memory, but muscle memory is just your muscles remembering like a specific pattern. It's not really like computation or like dexterity. It's not, or like hand-eye or your coordination. She's just saying muscle memory. Like, no.
You are really talented, but you're going to need to really feel your music, and you're not quite as strong there, but I will help you. I will help you become stronger there. But just moving isn't enough. Let me know what you think of this. Talk to
Yeah, this is just I guess, a video trying to make people feel better, but it's not actually saying the whole truth. Okay, let's go to the next one. Alright, we got this guy. We're gonna look at his high school violin and viola progress. Let's see how good his progress actually is. Okay, now, yeah, this is really good progress. He just started learning the violin, and his vibrato is actually pretty decent, even though his intonation is off, but still, 1 year, that's good, that's really good. Okay, now, he has to have it, like, he probably, there's no way he learned. He has to have played the piano before all of this. It's really hard, like, to learn music, tempo, rhythm, and learning how to read notes. And this is his second year playing, and he's already on Mendelssohn. Yes, even if he like, yes, really good progress. Oh my god. Why would you switch to viola, man? Okay, yeah. Switching to viola, it's probably the worst thing you could do. Like, you're already pretty good on violin. Why do you have to switch, man? Why do you have to switch? Okay. Anyways, let's keep watching. Yo. If you know what I'm thinking, you could already tell, like, what I'm thinking, then yeah. This guy had a glow down. Yeah, but that progress video, he was really good at first, but then he switched to viola. That's not good. Yeah, definitely, you don't want to be like this guy. All right, let's go to the next video. Okay, let's react to the next video.
If you've been a music teacher for longer than 10 days, you've probably had a parent come up to you and be like, my kid wants to quit, should I let them? Here's all that's happening. That child has just gotten into a stage called conscious incompetence. There are 4 stages.
The child wants to quit because they... What are these words, man? Okay, she's gonna explain it.
Of competence, and one called flow at the end, the 5th one. The first stage is unconscious incompetence. That's when you don't know what it is that you can't do, and you can be pretty happy there. Conscious incompetence is when you are very aware of the thing that you can't do, and all of a sudden it feels really hard. And that stage is supposed to feel uncomfortable.
Okay, so she's saying the kid wants to quit because they realize they're not progressing that well, or it's hard. it's probably a low chance that that's the actual reason. The main reason could be it's not even fun. Yeah, basically forced. It's not even fun, and it could be the teacher. In my own experience, yeah, that is what either makes a student quit or continue playing whatever instrument they're playing.
It doesn't just happen when you're learning music, but it happens a lot when you're learning music. And it is something that if you can teach a child to endure and even endure with joy, you've got a person there.
There's no need to do that. If the child actually likes the instrument they're playing, there's no need to tell them this is you have conscious incompetence. Don't need to do that.
Who can do hard things and do hard things happily. That's part of the biggest value that music gives people. Think about when you were learning to drive. Do you remember that feeling that you were behind the wheel and you were totally overwhelmed and you're like, I don't know what to do. There's so many things to think about.
I've never had that feeling.
That's conscious incompetence. But did you quit driving just because it was hard? No. So what do you say? You say to that.
She's comparing quitting an instrument to quitting driving, but you want to drive because you're learning how to drive because you want to actually drive. If you don't want to play an instrument, you probably don't want to learn it. So yeah.
Parent, and I'm saying this to parents if you're watching, your kid isn't broken.
Okay, I went in to eat lunch and I came back out and it's getting pretty hot, so it's probably gonna be the last video here. And it's still by the same page as the other videos.
A neuroscientist once asked a group of people to choose between two sandwiches, turkey or chicken, and none of them could decide. Now, why couldn't they decide? It's because they had damage to their midbrains.
What? They couldn't decide whether to eat a turkey or chicken sandwich because they had damage to their midbrain? Is she really serious? There's no way. She has to be joking.
Emotional centers of their brains. Without working emotions, they could not make a choice. They kept asking questions like, what's the fat content? Am I going to get riboflavin from this? What's the vitamin B? Blah, blah, blah. They were getting analysis paralysis. In order to make decisions, you have to have a preference, which is an emotion. There are two really key things to note here. It is impossible neurologically to make a purely rational decision where you're not involving your emotional part of your brain. And second, the more and better you
No, it's possible. I don't know what she's talking about.
train that emotional part of your brain, the better your decisions will become long-term. Now, think about your music students. Music lives in the emotional centers of your brain. When a student plays music, they are actually training the part of their brains that they will need to make good decisions.
So she's saying music will help you make good decisions. I don't think that's true because there's a lot of musicians that are homeless, so yeah. Anyways, I think I'm done watching this. I already got the point. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, learned something out of this. Yeah.